Welcome to Friday. It's the 25th day of February, 2022. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. Get 20% off with your purchase by using the code ChugwaterDon at checkout. Go to chugwaterchili.com and check out their chili seasoning. Their green chili seasoning is something remarkable. It's just a great and fast and easy way to make delicious green chili. Go to chugwaterchili.com. Well, rebounding temperatures coming our way. The worst of the Arctic chill is over. Many of you still waking up to some really frigid temperatures this morning. By anybody's analysis, it's still really cold. It's just not as below zero this morning in many areas. We're going to see a few mountain snow flurries, a few snow flurries on the plains. There is a weak wave moving through today, but we'll see mainly these flurries in the mountains. Then a slow warming trend with some wind. One thing to remember, when you have Arctic waves come into the Rockies and the high plains and the Intermountain West, when the air mass leaves, when the Arctic air leaves, there's always a big change in pressure. So you're going to have some wind, but the wind is going to be what will make it warmer. So if you want it warmer, we're going to have to go through a little bit of wind. But it's going to be mostly quiet across the Rockies and the plains this weekend into early next week. However, we're going to see some precipitation increasing in Washington, Oregon, Northern California, as a strong onshore flow begins to develop there. As we take a look, though, at the satellite imagery, you see that there's just really not a lot going on across the western United States and across the central U.S. The little wave that may cause some snow flurries is barely detectable, but there's a little upper level low right there that's sliding on through. All the blue here showing the really cold pockets of air that are still lingering in the western United States. The satellite image showing from space the cold air on the ground. Now you can see up here in the Gulf of Alaska and along the Aleutians, we got a big swirl here. As we showed you in satellite photos earlier in the week, there's just a lot going on in the North Pacific right now, and this is going to be moving into the Pacific Northwest, but the jet stream, as we'll show you here, is going to straighten out, and so what this is going to do is lead to some warmer weather. Do want to show you some photos that have come in here recently. Here's a nice shot out of the Western Bighorn Mountains. The Western Bighorn Mountains finally getting some snow out of this pattern. Not coming in big dumps, but a little bit here and there, and is adding up. Then some pictures of weather stations. Kevin Doucette, just southwest of Wheatland, sent this morning of some pretty chilly temperatures. Now this next image is from Wednesday. This is from Wednesday, but what I want to show you is this is from Thai Sighting, south of Laramie. So it's pretty cold. It's minus 12 degrees, but this is what caught my eye right here. Minus 12 with a wind of 31 miles an hour. So basically a wind chill of minus 43. So this was from Wednesday morning, really at the peak of the cold. Things are getting better though, and this is why. A west to east flow is developing with the jet stream. This is by Monday. So as we get into Monday and Tuesday, milder Pacific air comes in. Right here is that moist, energetic flow into the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. So there is going to be some weather up here, but this type of pattern is a down-sloping or Chinook pattern for the Rockies and High Plains. And you can see this pattern. This is through Tuesday. So you can see, look at the moisture coming into the Pacific coast and part of the northern Rockies. This is basically just from strong and moist onshore flow and some small disturbances rippling on through it. But you get east of the Continental Divide here, and you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything in the desert Southwest as well. As you look at the temperature anomaly, this is by Monday as well. So notice we get the Chinook down the slopes of the Rockies, east of the Continental Divide. We still have pockets of cold air trapped in the basins and valleys west of the divide. California warms up a little bit after there were several freeze warnings for many areas of central California this week. So temperatures are going to moderate. Now by Thursday, this is by Thursday, we have a pretty good looking storm system and trough coming in Northern California, Washington, and Oregon. So we're going to still be under high pressure through Thursday. So milder temperatures this weekend through next Thursday for the Rockies and High Plains, starting to get unsettled here. Temperatures by Thursday, out ahead of that low, still very mild. So do not think, though, that winter's over. This is going to kind of give us something that we see a lot in March. You kind of get this spring-like feel to the weather pattern. You're like, it's warming up. Maybe spring is here. Well, no. because by Friday, we have a disorganized trough coming in. Now, this is a complex area of low pressure here. It's not really well organized, but we have a cold, moist air mass coming in from the Pacific that is going to bring mountain snow by late next week and into next weekend. And what we have to watch for is better organization on the plains. Now, when we take a look at precipitation, this is the precipitation that comes in between Friday and Sunday. Not a lot, but you see some patches of blue here, a couple of small areas of yellow. Well, we've got to watch this system because March storms have a tendency to kind of come together at the last minute. And we're going to keep an eye on that because you can see the GFS model actually has a low near the Four Corners region, disorganized, but a closed low nonetheless by next Monday morning, with another little wave coming in behind it, another wave up here, and the configuration of high pressure in the East Pacific and high pressure in the southeastern United States always means low pressure in the Rockies. So while this doesn't look like a major storm, it looks like a moderate storm, but if it becomes better organized, then it bears watching, and March is famous for that. So keep an eye on the weather starting next Friday and into next weekend. And on Monday, we'll have a much better idea of what it looks like. But the warm-up that's coming is going to last a good 5 or 6 days. So that'll be nice. But after that, we get back into the activity again, and you can see it. This is the 10-day precipitation forecast. You can see the heavier precipitation moving back into the Pacific Northwest, even some of that getting east of the Cascades right here. And you can see the mountains and the plains getting into the action. And this is what the snowfall looks like if we add everything up between now and next weekend. And look at those provinces of southern Canada here. Pretty impressive snow coming up over the top of the colder air up there. So there's a lot of winter still on the table. These are temperature anomalies by next Monday, the 7th of March. So you can see the spring-like weather that comes next week is replaced by colder temperatures. This is all the way out to Thursday, March 10th. We've got another wave coming through. There's a lot of Arctic air right there, another low right here. So we've got our hands full. So enjoy the break in the weather that's coming because the second and third weeks of March are likely going to get stormy again. And that's supported by the new Japanese model. So here's the outline of North America right here. Here's the weekly modeling from the Japanese Meteorological Agency. And we'd like to show you this because it's just another data point. But what I want to show you here is this is for the time frame of around the 10th of March through about the 24th of March. And what we have is that high pressure ridge near Alaska's Aleutians. It's out in that central Pacific area, which means low pressure in the blue here and the high pressure in the southeast. So it's the same configuration that we just went through in terms of low pressure and colder unsettled weather being in the west. So the long range modeling is really hinting at that. This is the 30 days. This is 30 days starting from yesterday for 30 days. And so basically it still shows low pressure along the west coast into the high plains and Rockies, and that high in the southeast and the high near the Aleutians here. So basically that means once we have this early part of March that's warmer, by next weekend and the next 2 weeks after that, it gets more busy. And the European model for the next 4 weeks is showing temperature anomalies like this. Most of the lower 48 states in blue. The green here is the coldest temperatures relative to average. So it's going to be a busy March. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the warmer temperatures. We'll see you on Monday.